What happens after you've had the biggest job in the world? Imagine leaving the White House. For Barack Obama, it was a new beginning. He built an empire worth over $70 million, with his words, ideas, and story. Obama was the CEO of America for 8 years. He didn't just cash in, he created a new model for post-presidential life.
How did he do it? Let's break down the strategy.
Let's get one thing straight from the start. This is a story about business, not a debate about political legacies. When Obama left office, he had something more valuable than money, a globally recognized brand. Obama's brand equity was off the charts. The challenge was how to convert that intangible asset into a sustainable and ethical income stream. The core of his post-presidency business model is simple. He decided to sell what only he could offer: his thoughts, memories, perspective on leadership, and vision for the future. Obama's team understood that his life was a narrative millions wanted to hear. This shift from public service to private enterprise was managed with precision. He had a powerful communication style that could captivate any audience. These weren't just personal traits, they were marketable assets.
This approach provides a powerful lesson for everyone. Your unique skills, life experiences, and personal journey are all part of your brand. The key is to identify what makes you unique and figure out how to package it for an audience. Obama chose a path that leveraged his intellect and voice, becoming a creator, storyteller, and thought leader.
One of the first significant moves Team Obama made was securing a massive book deal. Barack and Michelle Obama reportedly signed a joint book deal with Penguin Random House for an estimated $65 million. For Barack Obama, his memoir, A Promised Land, was more than just a book. It was the cornerstone of his post-presidential empire. It was a product that only he could create. This book deal is a perfect example of monetizing your personal narrative. People weren't just buying paper and ink. They were buying a piece of history, told by the person who lived it. The publisher was willing to pay such a high price because they knew the demand would be enormous. The book went on to sell millions of copies worldwide, proving their bet was safe. The lesson here is profound. Your story has value. In the digital age, there are more ways than ever to share that story. Obama's book deal was on a massive scale, but the principle is the same for everyone. By documenting your journey and sharing your insights, you are creating intellectual property.
The book wasn't just a one-off product, it served as a foundation for everything else, reinforcing his brand as a thoughtful, eloquent leader. It showed that the most powerful stories are the true ones, and if you can tell yours well, the world will be willing to pay to listen.
If the book deal was about capturing his story on paper, the next major move was about bringing it to the screen. In 2018, the Obamas announced a multi-year deal with Netflix to produce films and series. The company they formed, Higher Ground Productions, was a game changer. They became producers, curators of content that aimed to inspire, educate, and entertain. This move marked a brilliant shift from being the message to becoming the media. The Netflix partnership was a masterstroke for several reasons. First, it allowed them to reach a massive global audience. Their first documentary, American Factory, even won an Academy Award. This venture wasn't just about making money, it was about shaping cultural conversations. This move also demonstrates a key principle of modern wealth building: diversification of income streams. Higher Ground Productions is a business, one that generates revenue through production fees and licensing deals.
For the average person, the lesson is clear. Don't just be a consumer of media, become a creator. You don't need a Netflix deal to start. Today, with platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and podcasting apps, anyone can be a producer. The Obamas' move into media shows that if you have a point of view, you can build an audience and a business around it. Beyond books and movies, there was a third, incredibly lucrative pillar to Obama's post-presidency empire: public speaking.
After leaving office, Barack Obama became one of the most sought-after speakers on the planet. Corporations, trade associations, and nonprofits were willing to pay top dollar to have him share his insights. Reports suggest His speaking fees can be as high as $400,000 for a single engagement.
This isn't just about reading a pre-written speech. The value comes from the unique combination of his experience, his eloquence, and his star power.
For a company, having Barack Obama speak at their event is more than just an educational experience. It's a major event.
What's interesting is how he managed the optics of this. To avoid appearing like he was simply cashing in, he balanced paid corporate speeches with pro bono appearances and work for his foundation. The lesson for us is about understanding the value of our expertise.
At the heart of all these ventures, the books, the Netflix deal, the speeches, lies a single powerful asset: the Obama brand. A brand is more than just a name or a logo. It's a promise. The Obama brand is built on pillars of intelligence, calmness, integrity, and inspiration. When he left the presidency, that trust and authenticity became his most valuable business asset. People bought his book, watched his shows, and paid to hear him speak because they trusted the source. This trust is what allowed him to secure long-term partnerships.
Building a brand based on purpose is also key. The Obamas have been clear that their goal is not just to make money, but to lift up new, diverse voices and tell stories that promote empathy and understanding. When you build your own brand or business, think about your why.
So, you've seen how Obama did it. But you might be thinking, that's great for a former president, but what about me? I'm not famous. Here's the good news. You don't need to be. The principles behind his success are universal, and you can apply them to your own life, starting today. The first step is a mental shift. You need to start thinking of your skills, your knowledge, and your life story as valuable assets.
Once you've identified your assets, the next step is to create content around them. This is how you package your knowledge for an audience. If you're a great cook, don't just cook for your family. Start a food blog with your recipes.
Next, you need to leverage digital tools to build an audience and monetize your content. You don't need a big publisher or a TV network anymore. Platforms like Substack or Medium let you build a paid newsletter.
The final step is to be authentic and consistent. Obama's brand works because it's genuine. By consistently creating valuable content based on your unique assets, you can build your own small but mighty empire.
Now, let's talk about the secret weapon that you have in 2025. Artificial intelligence. AI is like having a team of brilliant assistants working for you 24/7. It can supercharge your ability to turn your ideas into income. Think about the process of creating content. But with AI, you can brainstorm ideas, outline articles, draft social media posts, and even generate scripts for your videos. For example, let's say you want to start a blog about sustainable gardening. You can use an AI writing assistant to help you structure your posts, improve your grammar, and even suggest headlines. AI can even help you create visuals for your brand, design a logo, or edit your podcast audio.
Of course, AI is a tool, not a replacement for your unique voice and experience. The magic happens when you combine your authentic story, your Obama asset, with the power and efficiency of AI.
As we've seen, Barack Obama's post-presidency journey is more than a story of a former leader. It's a powerful lesson in modern wealth creation. He took the intangible assets of his life, his story, his wisdom, his voice, and turned them into a diversified, multi-million-dollar empire. He didn't build factories or invent a new gadget. He built his fortune on the foundation of his intellectual property. This is the most important takeaway. In the 21st century economy, your ideas are the new real estate. Think about it. A physical product can break, a stock can crash, but an idea, a story, a piece of knowledge that you have created and shared with the world, that is an asset that can last forever. You have the power to do the same, on your own scale. The journey starts by recognizing that your mind and your experiences are a goldmine of valuable assets.
In the end, the path to building your own empire, big or small, is not about fame or fortune. It's about ownership. Barack Obama's $70 million empire is inspiring, not because of the money, but because it shows what is possible when you have the courage to own your value.